You're just fucking jacking around the goddamn umbrella. Should we cut that?
Part of play action fakes it for pass end zone. Yes, touchdown.
Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picture. Daddy's been doing quite well lately with his videos of late. Late. I don't give a fuck. Going 6-2 over the past 2 weeks. Of course, a terrible week 1 and an inaccurate Thursday night feral cat have me sitting at 8-7 overall after a 3-2 week. But unlike the Steelers and Texans, Daddy is back with week 4 picks. So let's get right fucking to it. My first pick, the Dolphins are getting 6 and a hook from the Seahawks in Miami. While you're thinking the biggest difference between the Dolphins and the Seahawks is the quarterback position, where the Seahawks have who I would argue is the best player in all of the NFL in Russell Wilson, while the Dolphins have one of the oldest QBs at the position in Ryan Fitzpatrick, there is a slightly larger one. See, the Dolphins are coming off an easy win and 10 days rest, while the Seahawks are coming off a 5-hour flight and playing a 10 a.m. game in the Miami Heat. And while that won't affect them much, they're fucking professionals. When you couple it with the fact they have no pass rush, and that will make Ryan Fitzpatrick look 5 years younger. He's going to look like a 32-year-old running around. When you do that and couple that with another fact that the man that would eat up the clock in the closing minutes, Chris Carson, is out after a tackle that was so cheap it would impress every retired Jew in Miami, well, that will allow the Fins to close out the game when the Seahawks have already started packing their shit and heading back west. Fucking take the Dolphins, even though they fucking backdoor the double-digit lead and the 6 and a hook you're getting. My next pick, the Vikings are getting 4.5 from the Texans in Houston. By now, everyone not named Talib fucking Starks, who gambles more than me, has heard the coronavirus outbreak within the Titans organization. I don't know. Caused their opponent last week, the Minnesota Vikings, to shut down their practice facility out of an abundance of caution, but it's too much. The Vikings reopened their practice facility today, Thursday. If you're not watching this till Friday, maybe we were late getting it up because it took me so long to get through one fucking pick. And you know why they reopened it? Because of one big number. I see the Thursday. Zero. And I'm not talking about the zero number of coronavirus cases the Vikings have, despite rolling around with what now appears to be 4 asymptomatically infected Titans for 4 hours. Because whether the CDC wants to backpedal or not, asymptomatic patients don't spread the virus. How else do you explain that one of the guys that had it was a snapper? A snapper touches the ball every fucking offensive play, and yet no one on the Vikings had it. But that's not the zero we're talking about. The zero is the 0 fucking wins this team has. But let the record show it is week 4 of the COVID season that we will give Kirk Cousins his first chance to fuck us. Because while you want to think not practicing, it got better, didn't it? All week will hurt this team. It will not. As they have had this Cousins idiot running this mediocre offense for several years, and they're nothing but well rested as a result of this bullshit. Take the Vikes and the points in a game of 2 awful teams that should have been canceled instead of the Titans and Steelers. Because if you think about it, you're watching an NFL team in the Vikings that is so bad, think about this, people, that couldn't beat a team that had 4 players on the field who were playing with a deadly pandemic. Okay? In fact, maybe we should start calling Kirk Cousins Kirk COVID, because both of them inflate their stats when they're facing an opponent who was already weak in the first place or just stopped caring long before they showed up. Take the Vikes in this game that is as weak as this scandemic they're feeding us. The Bills are giving 3 to the Raiders in Vegas. The Bills got a scare from the Rams last week, and had it not been for a weak PI call late in the game, they would have lost. But given the Rams were the recipient of the worst ever missed PI call in the history of the NFL, they wisely, and I respect them for this, did not make a big deal of it. In fact, kudos to Rams safety John Johnson III. Yeah, like he can find John Johnson the first or second. Ask me if it's this funny. It's not. It's not this funny.
Is it that funny, Geno?
It's not this funny, Bobby. It's not. But credit John Johnson III for saying it was the wrong call. We can't narrow it down to that one play, but I don't think it was a PI. That's how you fucking move on. Now, what you can narrow it down to is Josh Allen, who was good for 5 TDs, 4 passing, and 1 on the. Why does that make? They keep highlighting the names, and it tickles me. Someone call Garrett and Ellie. Inside joke. What you can narrow it down to is Josh Allen, who was good for 5 TDs, 4 passing, and 1 on the ground. That clutch one of the 5 at the end, as he continues to have a phenomenal season with 10 TDs and just 1 pick. And while the Raiders are undefeated in Vegas, 1-0, their only win came against Drew Brees. Who, yeah, we're gonna take a dig at Drew Brees. Has been an absolute cut it out car wreck this season. And he's not like the car wreck that Breonna Taylor was involved in when her boyfriend that cost her a job as an EMT. Yeah, we're finding a way to dig at Drew Brees again. When in December of 2016, a fella named Bowman, who was found dead. He was found dead in a car rented by Breonna Taylor and her then boyfriend. But here's the thing, that dead fella Fernandez Bowman, the Bills won't give the Raiders 8 good shots to take them out like they found in his fucking body. But if it makes you feel any better, you misled BLM pinheads, I'm pretty sure Bowman said her name at least 4 times as he was being shot. Take the Bills and lay the points in Sin City. Which brings me to my pencils it in big Monday night pick. The Packers are giving 7 and a hook to the Falcons in Atlanta. Remember in the preseason when the Packers gave absolutely 0 love to Aaron Rodgers by picking Jordan Love in the first round instead of a wide receiver? And while the media was in a frenzy saying it was the end of Rodgers, he just went to practice and did what he did best. And he practiced with fucking his big name receiver, Devontae Adams, and everyone else. And while Adams was hobbling around the sidelines, Rodgers is having a field day with no-name receivers that he spent the entire shortened preseason running perfect practices with, while reminding Utah's Jordan Love that his legend is founded in about as much fact as the religion that made Utah famous, okay? Give yourself a pat on the back if you knew that Rodgers' top 2 receivers after Devontae Adams were Alan Lazard, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and tight end Robert Tonyan. They sound less like a receiver and more like Antifa people who make the news just once, after a night of lighting things up. Meanwhile, the fact that Dan Quinn still has a job while so many Americans are out of work in this false pandemic is a crime, especially considering he has killed more wins for Atlanta in the past 2 weeks than COVID has in the entire past 2 months. This guy's job is on a respirator, and I can't see these guys playing for him anymore. Take the Pack and lay the 7 and a hook burger on the road. Those are Geno's highlighted picks.